learn from it for future attempts. So that's kind of that. Go on to the next one. Again, the one thing, it wasn't really a question, but from talking to all the respondents, not a single person said, "Oh, it wasn't worth it. It was horrible." You know, everybody, and even just from, you know, you talk to people that weren't as active a part of that, but you talk to people in districts where they did levy a nickel, even if it was a bloodbath getting to that point, once it's there, nobody has said anything about it not being worth it. And then again, talking a little bit about the equalization piece, you know, that it's not there, who knows what will come in the future. You know, because before recallable nickels existed, I mean, somebody had to come up with the idea for the recallable nickel. So, point being, I think when we have issues in education and it really they start to feel the pressure, you know, our legislators feel the pressure, they'll come up with something that will respond to it. So, that's kind of my thought for, you know, well, you know, why would we want to worry about a recallable nickel if we don't have equalization? Again, things change, and we saw that this year with pensions and everything else, that things change. So, all right, questions or comments or?
Well, the last place is just another example where the have-nots get punished more.
Yep.
Yes, equalization is what's the main reason. I mean, in Logan County, the fact that Kentucky was going to pay for half of the ATC made it pretty palatable. I mean, for here, it was just a bonus.
Yep.
They're going to pay for the athletic fields.
Yep. And you know, I'm curious. You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, if there's not equalization, that a lot of people use that as part of their strategy. You know.
Right. I'm sure, yeah. Because you could sell the community that.
Yeah.
We're getting 2 for 1.
Yeah.
In some of these places.
Yeah.
Now you won't be able to do that. Does that start? When's that start?
This is the last biennium of nickels that will be equalized.
So
says the current law. I think it was December 31st of 17.
I'm not sure.
Just those up through.
They got into that window, so you've got till the next 2-year budget.
Are the people in the process that are going to miss the boat?
Yes.
Woodford.
They're missed about.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
And they could have easily made the vote.
Silent position too.
You know, they could have, you know, if they had pushed their timeline a little bit differently.
Oh, they got opposition. They got too much opposition, I think.
Well, they were gonna have the opposition anyway, but they
From an
waited over.
ex-superintendent?
Huh?
Their ex-superintendent is their
Right,
opposition.
but they held off of even putting it.
Yeah, no,
to
they thought about it for a long time.
Yeah, and if they just went ahead and, you know, got to vote one way or the other,
But
they're still gonna have to vote one way or the other.
But in fairness too, I mean,
They didn't know
there
it
was
was
no
gonna go
reason to
away.
believe that it was going to go away forever, was there? I mean,
That came from left field.
yeah. So I mean,
It's never not been equalized in some fashion. So that came from, you would never have thought that.
but even with that, like, is it written in language that it's not going to be equalized? Is it written in there saying moving forward it shall not be equalized moving forward? Because I was led to believe that,
Just
you
one
know,
way.
ours, we weren't really guaranteed anything. It just had to be within the 2-year biennium when they talk about budget language. That's where it's thrown in.
Well, no, it's in the actual, like when you brought up House Bill 80,
Yeah.
that's the specific language that first brought up the sunset
Okay.
no later than 2038, which was 22 years after 2016. We're going to equalize in 2016. You got 2 years to issue bonds. You got 20 years to pay those bonds off, so it's going to sunset at 2013. Yeah, I thought the language was in one of the when I read the Senate version of the budget, which
And that would make sense too, because if they don't put it in, then they're just going to keep getting pressure from the new cohort of districts to go after it and get it. But again, something will.
And you have to do this for your, is that for you or is that for the other class?
it is for his better instructor.